Even plants, essential part of ecosystem and the source of both food and home for wildlife, are facing the same crisis. This perhaps is a warning from nature, flashing at us. For the conservation of healthy ecosystem and national biodiversity, restoration of the endangered species has risen to be an important task of national level. With the goal of reviving the natural ecosystem of Korea by restoring endangered species, specialists from related fields have come together to establish the Species Restoration Technology Institute of Korea National Park Service. The projects of Species Restoration Technology Institute includes Asiatic black bear restoration based in Jirisan Mountain, long-tailed goral restoration in Woraksan Mountain through Sobaeksan Mountain, and red falk restoration in Sobaeksan Mountain. We aim for each species to reach the minimum viable population in the project region first, then to expand the habitats while they continue to grow in number, and finally to reach the ecological axis of Korea, Baekdu-daegan mountain range. Restoration project of flora is also in progress, securing population of endangered plant species such as Korean lady's slipper and the genetic resources of native plants of Korea. 2002, the beginning of Asiatic black bear restoration project. The population of Asiatic black bear of Korea had a steep decline during the Japanese occupation period, where more than 1,000 Asiatic black bears got mercilessly slaughtered under the name of exterminating harmful animals. Illegal poaching for unproved medicinal purposes and destruction of habitats continued the decrease of bear population over the decades, leading the species to face the crisis of extinction from Korea. In 2000, when we were losing hope for existence of Asiatic black bears in the wild, a broadcasting company caught sight of a bear on camera. The existence of Asiatic black bear was confirmed again in 2002 by the unmanned cameras set in the wild by the Korea National Park Service. However, studies show that without the reinforcement of population, the number of Asiatic black bears in Korea will gradually decrease due to inbreeding and loss of habitats, and eventually the species will extinct around 2020. The reintroduction of Asiatic black bears has been ongoing from 2004 by bringing in genetically proven Asiatic black bears from Russia, China, and North Korea and releasing them in Jirisan Mountain. The locations of released bears are being monitored by ear tag radio transmitters on a daily basis to build ecological and ethological database of the species. Each bear is getting annual health checkup, and the ear tag radio transmitters attached to the bears are also replaced. Through these efforts, the population of Asiatic black bears in Jirisan Mountain has been growing from once only 5 to now about to reach 50. And the number keeps going up as the bears reproduce naturally in the wild every year. In 2016, total 7 bear cubs were observed, including the first triplets ever reported to be born in the wild. After about 3 months of training from their mother, the cubs became young members of Jirisan Mountain who can live in the wild on their own. With the successful natural reproduction added to the artificial reintroduction, the restoration project now has gathered momentum. The minimum viable population for Asiatic bear to survive is 50. We are now getting closer to the success of the very first restoration project of endangered species. July 2006, the long-tailed goral restoration project was launched. In the winter of 2006, a long-tailed goral was found collapsed in snow-covered Woraksan Mountain. The long-tailed goral was rescued to receive emergency treatment followed by proper care for the severe dehydration and dystrophy. The goral made it back to the nature in healthy condition after the full recover and acclimation training. Woraksan Mountain, where 6 gorals were first released in 2007, is the core of monitored restoration region. The estimated number of long-tailed gorals currently living in Korea is about 920 nationwide. However, habitat fragmentation by human infrastructures is hindering the survival of the species. The project aims to enlarge the restoration region initially based in Woraksan Mountain to connect the isolated habitats into one great Baekdudaegan mountain range running across Korea from Woraksan Mountain, Soraksan Mountain, Odaesan Mountain, Songnisan Mountain, and finally to Jirisan Mountain. With a ceaseless effort put into the project, long-tailed goral population of Woraksan Mountain has now reached above 60. And it has been confirmed that they are expanding their home range to Songnisan Mountain. Slowly but surely, we are taking the steps towards the day where the whole wide Baekdudaegan mountain range will be the home of long-tailed gorals. August of 2011, the Plant Restoration Center was established. The Plant Restoration Center is performing various studies and research on endangered plants and native plants of Korea. Monitoring of habitat environment and collecting seeds of indigenous plants are being carried out based in national parks, the largest natural habitat of endangered plants. Making plant specimen and preserving genetic resources are in progress as well. The main goal of the Plant Restoration Center is, however, to secure the biodiversity by restoring the endangered plant species. Angraecum, a native plant species that went through a steep decline of population from indiscriminate collection, has designated to be in the Endangered Wild Species Class 1. Great care is taken for the restoration of this plant from the cultivation facility, environment acclimation, labeling, and transplanting in the native habitat. Climbing the cliff is also a part of the project to reach the most proper place for Angraecum, which inhabits in mossy trees or rock crevices. From the soil of the efforts, the replanted Angraecum will be in beautiful full bloom in seashore cliffs of nature, where they belong. November 2011, start of Red Fox Restoration Project. The red fox, who once flourished nationwide in Korea, became another victim of habitat destruction and anti-rat drives to face the crisis of extinction. The carcass found in 2004 in Gyeonggu, Gangwon-do Province is thought to be the last red fox reported in the wild before we launched the restoration project. The restoration project aims to reach the minimum viable population of red fox, which is 50, the smallest possible size of population for the species to survive on its own. Sobaeksan National Park in Sobaeksan Mountain, which has well-preserved nature to be great habitat, is chosen to be the core region of the Red Fox Restoration Project. Sobaeksan Mountain is located in the center of Baekdudaegan Mountain Range, making it perfect for the smooth habitat expansion. Genetically proven red foxes from northeast China are carefully reintroduced into Sobaeksan Mountain after proper acclimation to the environment of Korea. Released foxes are closely monitored by CCTVs and unmanned cameras with sensors for the ecological study of the species. We are also performing various ecological research on their habitats, fox earths, and food resources as well. The vixens which were observed going through natural mating have been released in the wild to reproduce. April of 2016, the red fox cubs born in the wild was first reported after the 4 years of endeavor. Natural reproduction in the wild, another hope for Red Fox Restoration Project, is also newly born. July 2010, opening of the Wildlife Medical Center. The Wildlife Medical Center is a specialized medical facility for the rescue and emergency treatment of injured wild animals and birds. Along with the medical care and research on diseases, securing genetic resources of wild fauna, and reproduction study for endangered animals, including artificial insemination technologies, are forming the main goals of Wildlife Medical Center. DNA analysis to measure genetic diversity and trace family trees of identified bears in the wild is also performed as a part of general research of wild fauna. Furthermore, the ecological and ethological study of Wildlife Medical Center is a valuable groundwork for the habitat preservation for endangered animals. Wildlife Medical Center is researching the mutual influence of wild fauna and ecosystem, which will play a vital role in preserving the natural environment and wildlife in the days ahead. One of the biggest obstacles of restoration project is illegal poaching. We are continuously collecting back the illegal hunting tools set in the wild, but it's hard to follow the number of illegal hunting tools newly set. The understanding and cooperation of local residents became essential for the protection of wildlife. The goal is to build the environment where local residents and the wildlife can live together in harmony. We are reaching out to the residents via various ways, including promotion in local festivals to help people understand the meaning of restoration projects, and operating ecological tour programs to guide the children to care and to love the nature. The mission of Species Restoration Technology Institute is not limited to the restoration of certain species. By building habitats where the endangered animals can live, we are preserving the whole ecosystem and, after all, contributing to the conservation of biodiversity of Korea. The successful restoration of Asiatic black bears, red foxes, long-tailed goral, and endangered plants will be the start of the bright future we are creating for the wildlife of Korea. For the future, where all the fauna and flora could live peacefully in healthy ecosystem of Korea. And for the future generations to have the blessing of beautiful nature, we will continue to go forward with the restless effort and shining hope.